Hello, everybody. It is me, Tracy, and I am sad, sad, but happy. Before I get started into on the show, um, remember to please subscribe to this page. If you're not a subscriber, you should see a little red box if you're on YouTube, and it will say subscribe. Hit that, smash it, hit it, obliterate it. Make sure to help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. The goal is still on. We're a little bit behind, but I know we can do it. I need your help, and I'm asking for it. So I'll do the other ones kind of later through the show. So today, as you can see in the title, this is the last Tracy show on Tuesday. Next week, which would be don't kill me for looking at my phone, but next week nope, let's see. So next week is the 29th, but I won't do a show the 29th. I'm going to skip that week and go into September the 5th. That will be my first The Tracy Show. So I'm taking a week off because I have to prepare for something special. So right now, there's not a lot of people watching. So remember also to share this video with all your friends, your enemies, your cousins, parents, kids, whomever. I need as many eyes on this video and my other videos as possible. So I thought, today, since this is the last Tracy show on Tuesday, and again, I'm not going to do one on the 29th just because I'm going to finally dedicate myself to getting things moved into the house from my car, because when I moved from my old apartment to the house, I packed things in my car to move, and they're still there. So I'm going to try to dedicate that day to moving things from my car to the house and kind of get things sort of situated. Because I still feel like, I don't know, I feel like I live here obviously because I'm talking to y'all, but it hasn't really hit me yet that I'm in a home as opposed to an apartment. But I haven't gotten used to it yet, and so I want to try to do that and to take off that time to like set up the TV, which I finally did after a week here. I set up my work office. I did that, and I set up my bedroom kind of, but I haven't moved like things like my dustpan, my mop, I did put the broom in here, but there's just a lot of little things that I have to do. So that'll be next week. And I'm kind of going to be all over the page, but a couple things I want to talk about is, and I'm going to put this in the comments here, I want to talk about some of my favorite interviews. So I want, once people come in, for someone to name a favorite show that I've done on Tuesdays, and that's mostly interviews, but I did have some comments in non I did have some non-political shows that I did because for some reason I could not get an interview. So name a favorite show, and let me rephrase that. Let me do this. Name a favorite. Oh, good. Now I can't even type. Favorite. Trade. So this is what I want you to do. Name a favorite episode of the Tracy Show. Um, I'm not sure. I thought I told people I was going to be live today, but I'm not seeing any guests right now. Um, I'm trying to alert some people because I need viewers. Help me to get viewers, please. I'm sending out an SOS right now. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna be all on the yeah, keep thinking about your favorite episode because I'm like I said, I'm sending out an SOS because I didn't expect this. I thought for sure I'd have someone to talk to, but that's okay. Um, I know what I do want to talk about. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be going live again. Um, Let me get some water first. I'm sorry, my throat is killing me here. I'm sorry, my throat is just so itchy. Um, Tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m., I will be going live for the RNC debate. And so, what I've been trying to do is to get in here and kind of play around to see can I share my screen to see. So, to share the Republican debate, I'm not sure what channel it is. So, I got a whole lot of homework to do. I got to find out what channel it is. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do a post interview because it may not get over it until like 10. You may also hold on. I'm sorry, but my throat is just agitating me. Okay, try that again. So, the Republican National Committee, the RNC, is holding a presidential debate tomorrow on, well, tomorrow's Wednesday. Then Thursday, I haven't decided if I want to go live yet because that's the day that Trump is supposedly going to surrender to the Georgia authorities. So I haven't quite made up my mind yet as to whether I'm going to go live or whether I'm just going to just talk about it on the Saturday show. I might go live for just like a second and I won't do like the formal setup and set up the lights. I may just point my phone and just start talking and then go from there. And then Friday is the podcast with Anna, High Heels and Blue Jeans. So it's a pretty busy week. And like I said, I'm not going to be here next Tuesday because that I've designated, I've got to get this together because the weekends are just, they are just uh, so busy and so packed. And football is back. Football is back. Football is back. Back. I am so happy. So, like I said, I want to start talking about some of the interviews that I have done on this show. So I started the Tracy show. Actually, next month is going to be the 1 year anniversary of the show. Um, I decided that I wanted to interview third party candidates who don't get a lot of media attention to have them come on and talk about their campaign and what their issues are, what their platform is, etc. And so I just started reaching out, and I've had some of the best interviews, and I've had some really great ones where I thought, okay, you really did a really good job on this. And then I've had other ones where it seemed like I was stretching to kind of make a conversation, and I'm not going to call anybody's name. I'm not going to say, "Hey, this person was terrible." I don't think I've had a terrible interview, but there's definitely some interviewers that I had to stretch to to get things out of them. And then once they let me take this out of my hair. And hold on a second. Okay, that looks better. Um, there's definitely been some interviews where I've had to 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 make the candidate kind of stretch out what they've talked about. So I'm going to talk about my best ones. But if there's a specific interview that you remember that I did, put it in the comments. I would really enjoy hearing, some well, no critiques too. Critiques are good because I'm always looking to improve. I think one of the things that I tried not to do is do gotcha questions because really what I want to do is to give the candidate an opportunity to speak about their own campaign in their own terms. I'm not going to say, hey, you were caught with a speeding ticket. What do you have to say? I don't do gotcha questions. I pretty much ask each person I've interviewed the same questions, not necessarily in the same order, but I try to stick to asking questions that shouldn't be too difficult to answer, like why are you running? How are you communicating? How are you getting volunteers? I'll tell you this though, some interviews have thrown me off. And I know I just had him on a couple weeks ago. Gary Swing threw me all the way off. When he said that he wasn't trying to win, my mind was just like, I just like, because I think, or the way I think is, if you're going to run for office, because he's running in Colorado and we're Facebook friends, so he'll see this. When you're running for office, my thought is, well, you're running to win. Even if you're running to like get your party ballot access, you're running for something bigger than um, you. When he said he would be shocked if he won, that literally, if you watch that interview, well, go back and watch it because the whole time I'm sitting there like my face was in shock because I had never had a candidate come on and say, "Yeah, if I win, I'm going to ask for a recount." I'm pretty sure he was joking, but that was a little bit strange to me, though. Another interview that was strange to me. Oh, and I can't even call his name. He was running for governor or was it senator? No, Matthew Ho was Senate, but that was one of my best. That was one of my best. Oh, I can't even call. I've done so many interviews. I can't call these people's names. Help me, y'all. Give me some names out here so I can call. Um, oh, what is this guy's name? I can see his face, and um, mm, I'll have to think about it because I close my eyes and I can literally see his face, but I cannot call his name, and I don't want to be like, okay, let me look on the phone because I don't want to. Um, but I'll tell you what my goal is in terms of the show and where I want it to go. Um, I definitely want to interview more female candidates. And the reason I want to do that is for a couple selfish reasons. One, I'm female, so duh. But second, I know in terms of third parties, it's very difficult to get women to run for office. It's always been a challenge. I don't know why it's a challenge. Um, Women were great at, you know, volunteering, doing mailings, door knocking, canvassing, but for some reason we kind of hesitate um, to run for office. So I definitely, definitely and wanting to interview more women. And actually, September is going to be a great month because I get to interview, I think, not one, not two, but three women. So that's going to be great. But I definitely want to interview more. And I'm not going to say candidates of color because that annoys me. But I'm just going to say black people because that's just, I just don't do that PC thing. That's just not who I am. That's not what I'm into. Again, third parties tend to underserve our community. And I know that at least for the third party that I'm in, we have great people. And, we're trying to, be more diverse. Um, but I definitely, I'm still going to interview my male candidates. So don't get like scared. But these are kind of like my goals. I'm still trying to think of the name. I'm just going to have to cheat and um, go to um, I'm just gonna have to go to this page and find this interview because he was so like I remember he was libertarian and not the African American man, but the other one. Um, and I can't think about what his name is. Let's see. I'm just gonna keep going through these, keep going through these. I know his name. I'm trying to just look up this one name. It wasn't Bart Everson, although that was a good interview. Michael Cooper, that's local. He's not libertarian. It's got to be Hector Rose that I'm talking about. I thought that was probably one of my more interesting ones because um, it's always odd when I have a libertarian appear because and I tell them all, I'm a leftist. We're just not going to agree. But again, when you come on the show, I'm not there to disdain your candidacy. I'm there to let you speak about your campaign. And it always amazes me whenever I ask a libertarian candidate to appear, I have never received a no. Never. Now, I can't say that for some other parties, which I won't name, and some other challenges that I have faced, but at least with the libertarians, I don't think they really care. I mean, they're just like, okay, I'm like, well, my audience isn't big. I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna ask you, some tougher questions because, like I said, libertarians tend to be right leaning, and I'm definitely not right leaning. So it's always amazes me when they're like, "Yeah, I think, I yeah, I'll come on." I'm like, "Okay." Um, like I said, I see someone watching, so if you could comment, that would be great. And comment your favorite interview I've done. So again, I've done some really, really good ones where I thought, okay, I hit this out of the park. Constance Every. I still get people. That's probably like right there at one. I mean, if I'm just gonna rank it, that's going to be the number one because it was such. She's so um, dynamic and engaging. The questions just flowed. Um, and they were great. Matthew Ho was another great one. Again, he was so dynamic talking about his campaign for the Senate in, I want to say North Carolina so bad. It's one of the Carolinas. It's either North Carolina or South Carolina. It's one of the two, but I'm going to lean towards North Carolina. Um, but again, he was so engaging and he was so detailed. I mean, he gave details that I didn't even ask about. Like, I would ask a question about, how did you get volunteers? And he would. answer the question, but then he would add like another layer to it. So those two are the best. Like they're just one, two, and then they switch because I just had such an incredible time doing those two interviews. I mean, let me backtrack. I have a good time doing all of my interviews. But again, there are some that just they stand out for me because it's either, oh Tracy, what were you thinking? This was not your best, or it's like you really, really did well on this show. It's one of the two. Most of them are they're in the middle. It's like, oh, I should have asked this. I should have asked this. Um, some of our guests have had a lot of comments. And this is where I'm not going to say anything. I want the people watching to comment. Who do you think, which candidate do you think that I had the most negative comments? I remember one interview I did, and it was just like, it got to the point, and I'm not going to say the person's name, but it got to the point where I was just like, okay, I'm going to have to turn these comments. I'm not going to put these comments on. I can't. I mean, it was just like intense. And the questions, they weren't inappropriate because I love when people comment. But these were like, oh, like, ooh, I don't want to ask that. I don't think that's a good one because I had to use my, my best judgment about what I let you all see in terms of comments. Of course, I want you all to comment now because it's just me talking. So, this one guest who, again, I will not name. I will not name the guest. You can guess who it is I'm talking about. And go from there. You know what, Marlon? That's not the name you called him. And he doesn't work at Walmart. Oh my gosh. He does not work at Walmart. But the person that Marlon is referring to, who I will not name, was probably the most intensified shared video. It's probably my highest viewed video. I still to this day get emails about it. Like, people are just like, is this guy for real? I mean, I've had interviews where people say, oh, good job. This one was like, don't you ever have this? I'm like, wait a minute. Now, we're not going to say what I never have on. This is still called The Tracy Show. If I want to have somebody back, I'll have somebody back. But that was one that was really controversial. Really controversial. Another one that was kind of controversial was, and he won't mind me calling his name, because he's with the Indiana Green Party. And he said a comment. Oh, I wish I could play it and share my screen. But oh my goodness, he said a comment, and the people in the comment section, they were not having it. I'm like, you know what? This time I'm gonna let the comments go because I had those questions. So, wait a minute, we got more comments. Shopping cart guy, that's still not his name. And Charlie Brown is, oh my gosh. I'm talking about the content that they shared where the audience was just like, no, we don't want to listen to this guy. We don't want to talk about this guy. We're not going to do this. Those two guests kind of stand out. I'll tell you who else stands out. Oh boy. So when you talk about the Libertarian Party, and again, I'm not going to call this person by name, but as soon as they see it, they'll know I'm talking about them. When you lead off with, I got kicked out of the Libertarian Party, I got kicked out of the Green Party, I got kicked out of the Republican Party, I got kicked out of the Democrat Party. Ooh, that was a long night. That one had, that literally had the most, it had very few viewers because none of my videos get a lot of viewers. Hint, share this video with people so I can have more views, so I can get grow my audience. But I move on. He was the candidate. He was running in the state that I live in, which I won't mention the state that I live in, and he wanted to employ martial law. And I thought, okay, I'll talk about this for a good 30, maybe 40 minutes. Nope. I talked about that one issue the entire show because I just could not wrap my brain around what he was saying. I didn't see the reason for it. That's probably the only guest I've ever argued with. That still stands alone. I normally don't. I don't come in and say, hey, you're wrong. I'll say, I disagree. This one, I just was like, no, you're wrong. This makes no sense. I don't understand why you're coming up with this crazy idea. That stands alone as the one time I argued with a guest. And I tried not to do that because, again, I'm wanting to present a platform where candidates can talk about their campaigns. That's the whole point of the show. It's not for me to say, you're wrong about this, and this, and you should be doing this, and this, and this, and this. That's up to the candidate. I'm just giving you a platform to talk to people about your candidacy. This one, I threw all those the rules out the window. I was like, no, you're wrong. This is the craziest thing. And I think he had said a comment about blacks didn't experience racism. Oh, that's all it took for me. That's all it took for me. I mean, I thought I exploded, but everybody was like, oh no, you did pretty well. You stayed calm. Because on the inside, oh no, I was ready to scream. That interview was memorable because, again, first and only guest I've ever gotten into an argument with. So there's some other interviews that kind of stand out. Like I said, Countess, Constance, I can never pronounce her name right. Miss Every, that's what I'm gonna call her. Hers and Matthew Ho, they stand out as like the top two, no doubt about it. My friend Hanifa, she came on. She was running for Indiana Senate, but she had ran as an independent. So we always are gonna butt heads, even though we say we're friends, and we are. But I'm like, just leave the Democratic Party. Like, you're wasting your talents and your skill on this party that doesn't really support you. But that was okay. That was different. I think another thing that I did in terms of my guest, well, basically, I try to get whoever says yes. How I'm sorry, I gotta take another drink of water because apparently my throat is gonna just. I'm just gonna have a dry throat for the rest of the week, I guess. So for you that are wondering how I obtain a guest, well, there's a couple of things I do. Um, Rarely, and I mean rarely, does a guest contact me. I think Samuel Rowan is the last guest that actually contacted me. And he got my name from a colleague of his named John Stavish, who also ran for president, but I believe he suspended his campaign. But he told Samuel about my show, and Samuel campaign reached out to me and said, hey, he would like to come on here and talk about his campaign. Hi, Parker. So, Parker, what we're doing now is I'm kind of walking down memory lane in terms of some of my best and worst interviews. If you can see Marlon's little comments about some of the more interesting guests I've had, uh, who would you say stands out in terms of my best guess? And who would you think is probably not somebody I should have had on? Because I'm not going to say worse. I don't think any of my guests were like terrible, terrible. But who would you say maybe she shouldn't have had them? So if you want to think about that and comment, you don't have to, but I would appreciate it. Um, so, like I said, in terms of Samuel, he's one of the few that has reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to come on your show." Um, Most of the time, I reach out. How I find these people, I don't even know. I mean, Google probably is my friend. I will literally go to Google and type third party candidates running for office and just come up with a list. And then I'll just email that list and um, I'll email the people and say, my name is Tracy. I host the Tracy Show. I interview third party candidates. The thing with Samuel is he's not. Samuel had me fooled because when he said, he contacted me, he said, "Oh, I'm running as a Republican." Well, that's not independent. But then I kept reading his bio and I'm like, "You're not Republican. You're not Republican." And I was like, "Okay, I know I have to have this young man on. I have to. There's no doubt about it. I have to talk to him. I got to figure out why is he doing this." And he explained himself really well. I thought that was a good one that I did too. Um, I also like when I talked with the Forward Party. Now, that's the one I did not think I was ever going to get because I have some definite opinions about the Forward Party. Um, Not a fan. And when I contacted them, I think I literally put in the email, this is just a vanity project. Like I literally typed, "This is a vanity project, but if you want to come on and talk about your party, have at it." And she came on and did very well. I was surprised. We had a very um, um, a really good conversation, and I didn't think that was going to happen. Not gonna lie, I liked Ashaki more in the first interview, but then when I looked at her site, there are some right-leaning policies that are not what I was expecting. I don't think anybody was because that first time she came on, it was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." Second time was like, "Okay," but that's how you get a complete idea of what that candidate is, though, or what they stand for. Um, I don't have a lot of right-leaning ideas. Maybe I have very few, maybe one. And I can't literally think of anything that I have that would be considered right leaning. But Parker, I'm just waiting for you to bring up the ones that I'm thinking you're going to, but you haven't yet. But I'll keep moving. Um, like I said, I especially am looking forward to some of the interviews that I have coming up, and they're going to be fantastic. Um, just again, they're two women, and one of them, I'm going to give you all a heads up now. Um, in terms of who I'm going to have, and I think the 14th, or does she come on the 21st? Um, oh, you know him, Parker. You definitely know who Marlon is talking about. Marlon is talking about that person. And then Marlon answers. That guy, he wanted taxes to pay for nothing. Corporations should pay for everything: roads, garbage collection, healthcare, schools. Except for his school, taxes should pay for that. Um, So they were talking to each other, and I displayed it. Sorry about that. But I'm trying to think of something that really stood out for me. Some guests acted like I was just like, um, Parker, why you lying? Why you sit here gonna tell this lie? Oh, well, I've never heard him use that nickname for that guy. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. And he's the one that came up with it. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. If they put the answer there, I'm not going to display it. I'm telling you now. Well, no, I'm lying. I'll display it, but it'll be quick. Um, the thing that stood out about my interview is the disparity that, because I don't have a lot of subscribers. I have, like I said, 133. When it's so bad that you have to come to a channel that has that you have to come to a channel with 133 subscribers to get your message out, that's not good in terms of what corporate media does. And I mentioned that in my invites to these candidates. It's like, look, I don't have a large audience. I have a faithful audience, but I don't have like this large audience of 1,000 people, which is our goal. So again, hit that subscribe button if you're watching this later. But I don't. And I've had some people that say, I can't, if I appear on your show, nobody's gonna see me. And at first it made me angry, but then I have to understand what they're saying makes a lot of sense. So I always appreciate when a candidate is willing to come on and talk, because they don't have to. There's other shows, there's other platforms that do interviews with third party candidates. I'm not the only one. And they have 18, 19, 20, 100, 150 times the audience that I have. And so for them to take their time to come out and come to talk to me and my audience, I'm always going to appreciate that. Always. He's the clean up on aisle 5 guy. No, Marlon, that's not the nickname you gave him. But I think about where I know this channel can go, and I think, I always feel like, well, we should be at least 300 subscribers by now, but I just don't sit around and just post everywhere I should. My fault. But what I've always stood on is a dedication to let candidates speak for themselves. I think corporate media plays this game where they want to get that got you question, especially if they oppose. And I tell every guest of mine, my goal is not to be your press secretary. Although I did get an offer from one candidate on air, and I'm like, no, that's not quite my job. My job is to let you speak, and you to get the. First of all, I don't even live in your state, so more like the free market cleanup on. You know what? Y'all is wrong in the comment section. But I've always wanted to do this. And I was like, third party candidates never get any type of exposure. So if my little itty bitty, tiny little channel can help, I'm willing to do it. Now, of course, I would love more people to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button that's somewhere on your YouTube screen and getting me more subscribers so I can share this with more people. But I'm always going to tell candidates, hey, I'm not on your salary. I'm more Green Party. That's another thing I do. I always tell the candidates, no matter what party they're with, I'm affiliated with the Green Party. But when I'm on this show, that goes to the side. And I'm just a citizen. I will never, ever. Um, Now, of course, when I have a Green Party candidate on, oh, well, we're just we're just shooting the breeze. Um, but I'm I'm never hide the fact that I'm in the Green Party or affiliated with the Green Party. I never will. But yet, some people, Parker, have decided to throw me opportunities that I never asked for. I never asked to be your press secretary, your press volunteer. That's not what that's not what I was asking for. That's really not what I was asking for. I'm letting you tell your story. Um, but I'm just looking forward to the interviews that we have. And I said I was going to tell you all who we have for September. For September, um, we're in election season. We're in the presidential campaign. We're way early, but we can just jumping right into it. So we're gonna start off September. I believe she comes on the 14th. Her name is Jasmine Sherman, and she is running for president. Now, I don't give out people's websites, which I won't, but I would say to prepare yourself because she had ideas. I'm sitting there like, actually a good idea. I'm looking really forward to that conversation. I'm looking so forward to that conversation. I can't wait to have it. I've spoken to her campaign manager, her campaign press person. I'm just really looking forward to that. Um, and then I have a Senate campaign. Sorry, my allergies seem to be striking up. I have a candidate for Senate in New York. Her name is Diana Sayre, Sare. And she's running against probably one of my least favorite people, Christian Gillibrand, in New York as a Green Party. So it'll be like when I'm talking. Well, actually, they're both because I said Candace. Jasmine is trying to get the Green Party nomination for president, and then Diana is running for Green Party in New York. So those two conversations I am looking forward to. Um, Tomorrow night is going to be crazy. Um, yeah, it's going to be crazy. That's why I'm covering it because I don't know. I don't know how much to expect because Trump isn't going to be there. He's doing his own interview with Tucker Carlson, and I don't know if they have I don't want to say courage. I don't think they have the guts to attack him. But if Chris Christie is there, he will. So I'm looking forward to that. Then, of course, Thursday Trump turns himself in. So that's going to be big. And then, like I said, Friday, I have high heels and blue jeans with Anna. This is going to be a big, huge week. But it's just going to get busy, y'all. Pardon me for sniffling, but my allergies are just annoying. I'm trying to find Kleenex, and of course I can't. So it's just gonna be like crazy bananas, bananas, bananas. Oh, I do have an announcement. Do have an announcement. So for all of you all that are gonna watch this later, um, of course. I mean, do I have to even say the NFL comes back September the 7th? I don't think I had to say it. Thursday night, September 7th. I don't even have an interview scheduled, but I'm still going to go live for about 1 hour. But yes, September the 7th. And then college football comes back on that following Saturday, I think. Um, but back to my announcement, and then I think I might wrap this up. Um, November the 7th, 2023. That is to just mark this day down because I'm going to bring it up on my calendar just so I can remind everybody for the 19,423rd time. Tuesday, November the 7th, on this channel, we will have a presidential debate. I am super excited about it. You'll probably see me with my glasses on. Um, there won't be a whole lot of shenanigans. Um, I'm probably um, gonna be a lot harder, and I've already told the people who agree. You know, you've been on my show before, or you're going to be on my show. I I don't throw softball questions, but I don't do gotcha questions. And I'm not going to do gotcha questions at the debate. So here is where I need your help. If you have a question that you want me to ask, I need you to put that comment in the comment section of this video. If you have a question that you want me to ask at the November the 7th, 2023 debate taking place at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live, don't do it now, but go back maybe about 10 minutes after this show goes off, or if you watch it later, put in the comment section what your question is. We will be talking about foreign affairs. That will be our first topic. We'll have 4 debates. The first one will be foreign issues. Um, Second one will be domestic issues. Third one will be the economy. And then the fourth one will be healthcare, I believe. But I know the first one is foreign affairs. Well, it'll be like, what is your opinion on the economic policy of the 23rd president? We will not be asking that, Parker. And I'm serious. I'm constructing questions that I want to ask. And remember, I'm asking this because foreign policy is probably where I'm the weakest at. I can't even think globally. I just think USA, USA. That's how I think. But this one is going to really stretch me. So I'm asking you, or those that watch this video later, or tomorrow, or the week after, if you have a question about foreign relations that you want me to ask, put them in the comment section. Most likely I will ask them. I'll kind of talk about the rules of the debate. As it gets closer, the candidates already know the rules. They've already agreed to them. But I'm just so looking forward to this. It's one of the things that, again, I can't believe that I even got people to agree to do this. But we're going to do it. We're going to have a very insightful conversation. There will be, not counting myself, there should be 7 candidates plus myself. That would be 8 people on one broadcast. So you know it's going to be, it's going to get a little trippy. It's going to get a little loopy, but it's going to be something that I think that the fans, and I do count you all as fans, family, have to look forward to. I don't think that the questions that I want to ask are being asked on mainstream media. I can tell you that. But again, if you have a question that you want me to ask about foreign relations, Tuesday, November the 7th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just put it in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate it. So this has gone on way longer than I thought, because I thought I would just be about 20 minutes. But again, I set time limits and I just blow it out the water. So, um, I think to kind of wrap this up, I definitely want to thank the people that watch this show. You could literally be watching anything on YouTube, and you've taken a portion of your day and your time to come in here and watch me um, fiddle faddle, or walk through, or bog down, stumble, um, forget what my question was. You've watched my highs, you definitely watched my lows, but you still keep coming back. That I can't even say thank you enough. It makes me feel great that I'm reaching at least one person. Um, and I'm going to continue to do this whether I drop down to 75 subscribers. It just, it's something that I feel is necessary. I think it will move us towards the ultimate goal of getting rid of the duopoly. We need third party candidates running, and as long as they need a voice to speak about their campaign, I'm going to be that voice. So no show next week unless I just ultimately change my mind and be like, okay. But I'm probably not. I'm probably not going to change my mind. I'm still getting things in the house situated. So I'm going to do that next Tuesday instead. So remember to join Anna and myself Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for High Heels and Blue Jeans. We're going to be talking about, we don't know yet, we still haven't came up with a subject, but I think she wants to talk about the Tara Reid article or clip that I sent her. And then I want to talk about, I forgot. See, that's bad thing. I forgot what I wanted to talk about, but I'll know by Friday. Um, so with that, remember to subscribe. Please subscribe, comment, share this video, like this video. The more eyes that we have on this channel, the more likely it is that I can get candidates that everybody deserves to see and everybody deserves to know about in their area. So please comment on this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening. I will see you all on Friday. Bye-bye.